The town of Oakhaven was usually quiet, peaceful, but tonight, excitement crackled in the air. Victor Vanaro, the renowned magician, was in town. His show, advertised with posters plastered on every surface, promised a spectacle. The theater was packed. All eyes were on the stage. The grand piano, polished and gleaming, sat center stage. Victor, with a flourish and a wink, began his act.
The air grew thick with anticipation. Victor, with a snap of his fingers, produced a plume of smoke. When it cleared, the piano was gone. The crowd gasped. Applause thundered through the theater.
This was Victor's most daring illusion yet. He took a bow, his smile triumphant, but the applause soon died down. Victor was gone too. Panic rippled through the theater. Where had Victor gone? More importantly, where was the piano? The manager, her face pale, called the authorities. News of the double disappearance spread like wildfire. The quiet town of Oakhaven was in an uproar, the most baffling disappearance in its history. People whispered, their faces etched with worry and disbelief.
Detective Clara Hayes, known for her sharp mind and even sharper wit, received the call. A magician and a piano vanishing into thin air. It sounded like a joke, but Clara knew better than to take anything at face value. Her instincts told her this was no laughing matter. She arrived at the theatre, her gaze sweeping over the chaotic scene. The show's success made the disappearance even stranger. Why vanish at the peak of your triumph? Clara, intrigued, started her investigation.
Clara, calm amidst the chaos, took control. She questioned the theatre staff, her eyes missing nothing. Each detail, no matter how insignificant, was noted. Her gaze lingered on the stage, now empty and silent. Where had Victor and the piano vanished to? The stagehands, flustered and confused, offered no helpful information. Victor, they insisted, had vanished in a puff of smoke, just like the piano. Clara, unconvinced, pressed on.
Victor's dressing room was her next stop. It was surprisingly ordinary. No hidden trapdoors or secret passages, just the usual clutter of a performer's life. Clothes strewn about, makeup brushes scattered on a table, and a single piece of paper lying on the dressing table caught her eye. A note, written in a hurried hand. The key to the impossible lies where music sleeps. Clara reread the note, her mind racing. This was no random message, it was a clue.
The note was cryptic, but Clara was no stranger to puzzles.
Where music sleeps, she murmured, her fingers tapping on the note.
Her gaze fell on the empty space where the piano had been. Could the answer lie there? Back on stage, Clara examined the spot. The wooden floorboards, polished and smooth, offered no clues. Frustration gnawed at her. Victor's disappearance was becoming more baffling by the minute.
Then she noticed it. A slight difference in the wood grain, a subtle discoloration on one of the floorboards. It was almost invisible, easily missed by an untrained eye, but not Clara's.
She knelt, her fingers tracing the outline of the board. It was loose. Beneath it, she felt a lever. This was more than just a stage. It was a puzzle, and Victor had left a trail. Clara, with a deep breath, pulled the lever. The floorboard shifted, revealing a staircase leading down into darkness. Armed with her flashlight, she descended. The air grew colder, heavy with the scent of dust and old wood. The stairs ended at a heavy wooden door. Clara pushed it open, her heart pounding. The room was bathed in a soft, warm light. It was a workshop, a magician's sanctuary. Tables were cluttered with tools, spare parts, and blueprints for elaborate illusions. And there, in the center of the room, stood Victor. He was not bound or gagged, but working diligently on a complex contraption of gears and mirrors. His brow was furrowed in concentration, his hands moving with practiced ease. He looked up as Clara entered, a flicker of surprise crossing his face.
Detective Hayes, Victor greeted, his voice calm, almost amused. To what do I owe this unexpected pleasure?
I could ask you the same question, Mr. Vanaro, Clara retorted, her gaze sweeping around the room. A disappearing act, followed by a secret workshop. You certainly know how to keep things interesting.
Victor chuckled, setting down his tools.
All will be revealed in time, Detective, but first I need your help.
He explained that the disappearance was a setup, a test. Someone had been stealing his tricks, sabotaging his props. He suspected his trusted assistant, but needed proof. The disappearing act designed with a hidden escape route was the bait. He had planned to catch the thief red-handed. The note in his dressing room, a deliberate clue, was meant to lead his betrayer to the workshop. Just then, they heard footsteps. The workshop door swung open, revealing a figure attempting to sneak in. It was Victor's assistant, his shifty eyes widening in alarm at being caught. He stammered, trying to explain his presence, but the evidence was clear. In his hands, he clutched a notebook filled with Victor's meticulously drawn illusions. Clara, with her usual efficiency, apprehended the assistant. The mystery of the disappearing act was solved. It was a case of misplaced trust, of ambition gone wrong. Victor, relieved and grateful, thanked Clara. Her persistence, her attention to detail, had saved his career and exposed the truth. News of the thief's capture spread through Oakhaven as quickly as the news of the disappearance. The town breathed a collective sigh of relief. Life returned to normal, but the legend of Victor Vannaro's disappearing act and Detective Clara Hayes' cleverness lived on.